Hey girls.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes, indeed. Okay, let me get us started, girl. Get my mind right. Had to watch that crowd living. It's funny because it's true. Let's begin. She walk on stage with a mic and a smile. Got truth in the pocket, been waiting a while. Life been wild, but she still gon' shine. Say what you scared to say. Perfect time. Big kids up, stress and pride. She gon' flip that plane and make a punchline fire. If you ever cried and laugh right after, you already know this shit matter. From the floor to the nosebleeds, see tail. Everybody here's trying to breathe, so loosen up. Let your shoulders drop. But she will talk, you know it don't stop. Laughing loud, laughing free. This ain't just jokes, it's therapy. Truth is but it feels so right. Shelia, no comedy, so now clap your hands. You see what everybody thinks, but won't they thank you for real life? It's the comedy gold, it's the Shelia, no comedy show. She from relationships, work, and church. Why we smile in public, but her when it hurts. Ain't afraid of the mirror, ain't scared of the truth. She gon' make you laugh and say that's you. Side eye jokes, wisdom in the sky. It's funny how you and calm with a punchline. You came for jokes, but you leave it whole. Grown folk comedy, heart and soul. If you had a week that wore you down, if I've been joking you all around, take a breath, let the stress all go. You sit right here at the show. Laughing loud, laughing free. This ain't just jokes, it's therapy. Truth is hard, but it feels so right. Still a no comedy show tonight. Now clap your hands, say what everybody thinks, but won't say that I'm from. Let's comedy go, it's in a new comedy show. But she real, but she's joking, but she here. Joking, but she here. If you've been holding it too long, it's your moment. Sing along, laughing free. Come as you are, just be you. And it from the first joke to the final bow. The ceiling new comedy show right now. For one time, like two, not to laugh sometimes from the pain. Into something more. Let's get a new comedy show. If you laugh, that's medicine. If you fountain, that's on purpose. Welcome to the new comedy show. All right, all right. I love the intro. I swear I do. It never gets old. I can listen to it. Sometimes I do just because I like it. Okay. The melody is catchy, the lyrics is on point. And as he stated, welcome to the Sheila New Comedy Show. I am Sheila New, along with my super producer friend Wanda Rose. And we'd like to welcome you to season 7, episode 2. I can't believe we're in season 7 already. It is crazy. And tonight we are laughing at life, okay? Because with all the shenanigans that are happening right now in 2026, this is the 21st century. And we got more crazy stuff happening in the 21st century than I can just wrap my mind around. So, hey, everybody, we are in the middle of summer and it has been quite the summer. There's been so much going on that laughter is definitely needed. It is warranted. It is the medicine that I think we all just sometimes need to take a break. As Kendrick Lamar stated in his song that was very popular last year, turn the damn TV off. Okay. Sometimes you just got to do that too. But sometimes life like this makes you feel as if you are in a live TV show. Wanda, I know you love Scandal. So come on, tell us a little bit about that.
What you want to know about Scandal? I mean, I think we are on a live TV show this year. This is the year of Scandal. I think the last couple of years we've been in a Scandal episode, and I think we really looked at it, we might think we're on a TV show. We might be the actors, but we don't. We're just non-paid actors in this TV show.
Yes, and it's like what was the show that used to be out a long time ago? Ashton Kutcher used to have it, and it was called Prank. You remember that?
No, what show is that?
You don't remember? Oh
I
my
have
God.
no.
Oh, okay. So way back. So, and I know I'm dating myself, and I don't care because some of y'all really need to just grab a hold and listen and learn. But way back in the day, it used to be this show called Candy Camera. You remember that show?
Vaguely.
Okay. So Candy Camera used to have cameras set up and they used to play pranks on people, right?
Okay.
It was their version back in the, I guess, 70s or whatever the case. And yes, that is the number 19 before the 70s. For all y'all Gen Zers, Alpha Babies, and Millennials who act like y'all don't know, but come on. Go walk down memory lane with us because we're going to teach you some stuff. Oh, and before we get started doing anything else, yes, Candace, I hear you. Everything that you are about to hear, just remember that this is for entertainment purposes only. But if you happen to learn something along the way, good for you. Okay. But this is comedy our way, our brand, our style. And shout out to Candace for always tapping me on my shoulder saying, don't forget to say that, Sheila. Okay, Candace. I'm saying it every time. This is for entertainment purposes only. But so going back to it, so it used to be a show called Candy Camera. Bald head dude used to host it. They used to prank people all the time. So fast forward, Ashton Kutcher did his own version of Candy Camera, but it was called Pranked. And he used to prank like celebrities, regular people, all the things. And he would do some more. So some outlandish stuff, to people. So I feel like that's kind of where we are right now in the 21st century, where all the outlandish stuff going on, being pranked on so many different levels because it's so much that's going on. It's a lot of sad stuff, it's a lot of heavy stuff, it's a lot of stuff that makes people angry. So when you can take a time to pause and laugh and just, consume yourself with that, it gives you an opportunity just to kind of breathe and just be like, okay, well, this too shall pass and we will get through this the best way we know how.
Yeah, I
So
guess
that's
so.
kind of
I
make
guess
it
so.
what it makes me feel.
I guess the only sad part is sometimes we're not really being pranked. It's actually happening.
No, exactly.
That's the only sad. That's the only sad part. But you still gotta laugh at it because some of the stuff is just so far out there. You're like, this can't be really happening, but it
Yeah,
is.
that is so true. And that's the sad part about it. When you wake up and you keep hearing it cycling through the news feeds, no matter where you get your news from, I mean, it's some unnecessary stuff that's happening. I think it's all unnecessary, especially when lives are involved and they're so young. And these young men and women don't get an opportunity or a chance to kind of live out their dreams and go down the path that they were supposed to go down because of some stupidity, jealousy, envy, whatever it is. It's just we need breaks like this. And then when you got other people that are in I don't even want to say leadership positions because that's tongue in cheek, but people that are supposed to lead, but they're not leading in the way that we think they should. And then we got all this unnecessary chaos that's going on all over the world. It saddens me that we here with all this wonderful, beautiful technology and all the things that we could be doing that's good in the world that we decide to choose violence all the time, and I don't understand why that is, but it's just like one of those things, and I don't necessarily like it. So I choose to sometimes erase things and just not listen to it and do what Kendra said and turn that damn TV off. But it doesn't make me oblivious to what's going on. But sometimes I just need a mental break from all of that stuff because it is so much. It's like every time you turn around, something else happened. Every time you turn around, something else happened. Gas is high. You can't eat salad right now because the lettuce is tainted. It's a measles outbreak of all things that's happening right now in 2026. It's the craziest shit that's going on in the world right now. And I just can't believe that this stuff is really happening. But yeah, I want somebody like the man from Candy Camera that used to be hosting back in the day. Or I wish Ashton Kutcher would come out somewhere and say, "Y'all being pranked, y'all can wake up now," because that would make things a little bit better.
Yeah, but unfortunately, but this too shall pass.
Yes, it will. It's got to.
But I'm
And
just
I'm
curious.
waiting on it to pass, daggone it.
I'm just curious. Have you seen the Netflix trend, the trend about Netflix
Yes, and
on
I
social
seen your
media?
version of it. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that was just my version, but that was funny.
Yeah, it was. No, I love the whole, like, everybody has their variation. I've seen hairstylists do it. I've seen nail techs do it. I've seen people that are in the fashion industry do it. I've seen just regular everyday people, whether it's a relationship, whether it's about their kids, whether it's about their job, whether it's about driving to and from school, work, church, whatever. I've seen like so many variations of it, but I love the fact that people are making it their own. And I think that's the funniest thing. So that makes me happy when I see stuff like that.
And the cool part of the thing, it reminds you that everybody got a story. There's something going on, and
Yes.
you think your life is bad, and somebody else tell their story, and it might be worse than yours,
Yeah.
funnier than your story. And Netflix even responded and said y'all giving us a lot of ideas, and I'm sure they're getting a lot of ideas from some of these stories. You've had political figures do it, celebrities do it, regular people do it. So it's been a
Yeah.
really cool trend to see what people are talking about.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. And that's one thing that, I like that you did a spoof on, on Clubhouse, because ironically, this is how we met. And this is how, we're able to bring, this brand of what we do to the audience that leans in and listen to what we have to say on a monthly basis, which is cool. But I mean, it's so much even with this, like Clubhouse has evolved so much, it has changed so much. And sometimes when I get on the app, I don't know if I'm coming or going. I just look for for the things that I'm familiar with, and that's what I kind of lean into. But yeah, it's a lot going on, and it's a reminder of how far we've come. So with everything that's happening in the world, and more importantly, it really gives you insight on how everything that is happening is impacting everybody on different levels.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the movie about Clubhouse. 'Cause Clubhouse, back in the day, that was a world of its own.
Yeah, and it was, and it was a whole lot of scam going on in Clubhouse, and a lot of flim flammers and gym jammers and all the things. And I'm pretty sure it's still a lot of trolls and a lot of other stuff that be happening on this little bitty app that impacts a lot of people worldwide. And it's sad that some people do get caught up, but it seems like that they are tightening up on the rules and regulations a little bit more, because I think people have complained enough. And I think when you interact on social media, you just have to use your common sense and use your discernment on what's for you, because everything is not for everybody. Not all rooms are created equal. Not all houses are created equal. So you kind of have to pick your tribe and follow that. And if something doesn't feel right, sound right, or whatever, use your best discretion and get the hell on and move on to the next episode and find something else to do.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I loved Clubhouse during COVID, and
Oh,
I've
absolutely.
met a lot of amazing people, good and bad, and
Yeah.
I still really like the app a lot. I still think it has a place, and I think it's still an important app that allows people to connect, and I think it still allows people to connect in a way that people don't normally connect by voice. People who've been talking for years and probably never met each other, and I still think it's really cool, and it's a different way of connecting that you don't see, and I think that was important during COVID. I think it helped a lot of people during COVID probably.
Oh, for sure.
And I think, I was looking back at how many rooms I had. I'm like, oh my gosh. I even sent like people, one of my friends, I forgot we did rooms together at one time. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. And so, I mean, just that's some really cool stuff I did doing COVID. And this over the last several years on Clubhouse. And so I think, we would have never started this show if not for Clubhouse. I mean,
Yeah, 110%.
we would have never known each other if not for Clubhouse. So
Absolutely.
I think I learned a lot. I've done a lot through Clubhouse. Met a lot of great people, and so I mean I give it that. So it was an interesting time, and it's still I think it's a great app that is an outlet for a lot of people and still has great information. But I think we have this show, and this show started when we talked about dating for the birds,
Yes.
Love is always important. There's a lot going on, but people still falling in love and people still dating, and it's summertime.
Yes.
So people getting ready for holidays.
You know what? Are we already talking about the holidays? I know people already been hollering about Christmas in July and all that stuff. Because where I am now in the world, it gets extremely cold during the winter months, and I really don't be leaning into the holiday time. So right now, I am embracing all the sunshine and all the beautiful things. And speaking of relationships and all the things, and because we do talk about relationships, work in church, as the song says. So today, a thing happened. Baby. And we're going to say it here first. Well, it's not really here first, but I'm going to let you hear it from me. So, and it's something that I don't do a lot. So, I don't share a lot of my personal stuff because this is meant for entertainment purposes only. But every now and again, some things happen in the world that I like to share. And today was the day that my status on Facebook has changed. So it went from being single, which it was single for a very, 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 very long time, to being in a relationship. And it has set Facebook on fire. Okay. So,
You can tell I'm not. You can tell I hadn't been on Facebook, and I'm offended that I ain't get a text. I'm offended.
no,
I'm like,
don't be offended.
I
Look,
am
don't be,
so
it's
offended.
been a long,
I'm like,
listen,
I don't even talk. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even. I don't
it is
even. I
nuts.
wish Candace were here because
I know
Candace
that's
would go.
right.
Candace
I
would probably
know
would go
that's
off right
right.
now.
I'm hollering so loud.
I can see her. I can see her right now. Like,
Listen,
yeah.
it's so much that I mean.
I'm offended. I'm so
No,
offended.
do not be
No,
offended.
no,
We
no,
will
no, no,
have our
no.
sidebar
Uh,
conversation because
uh,
it is so much that has happened and has transpired. It's gonna knock your socks off. And some
uh,
kind of way we gonna have to
I
talk
don't
about
want.
it. No, you do.
That's why
You
you don't never
do.
answer your phone.
No, it's not. I swear to God, it's
Lately,
not.
you don't call, you don't answer
Oh
your
my
phone.
God. We are not gonna do this right
All you get is a text back. I'll call you later.
now.
Like, what is going on?
No, but this the thing when we talk, because Wanda. So for y'all who don't know, Wanda is a very busy individual, and she has a whole lot of irons in the fire. And she is like one of the most creative persons I know, and she has more projects than the law allows. But that's Wanda. And that's what she loves. Wanda is also polar opposite of Sheila because Wanda is a night owl. Sheila is not. Okay, I like to go to sleep when I like to go to sleep. Wanda will ring Sheila until Wanda gets Sheila, and then we'll have a 5-minute conversation because she'll ask me, "Are you in the bed?" Yes, Wanda, I am in the bed. Are you asleep? Yes, Wanda, I am trying to. And we'll talk for a few minutes. So we try to catch up as much as we can. One, we're in two different states, two different time zones, obviously. But at the same time, we do both have busy lives. We work, we do all the things, and we do try to bring the funny as much as possible. So
But
life does happen.
but you know what's different though? You know what's different though?
What is
We used to have these long text messages that Candace would start them. And there would
yes.
be these long text messages
And she
going
would
back
be on our head about stuff
so
like this.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Like, when
yes.
are you gonna do the show?
Yeah,
What are we doing?
we would have, it would have, yeah. She had these random long text messages in the back
Yes.
of these, yeah. We
I
don't really
miss
do that. We
Candace.
have not
Yeah.
done that in a long time.
And we have, and I think, and that's the thing. I think too, because in it's sad to say, but I do. I miss Candace tremendously. I miss her energy. The one blessed thing is that her voice will forever be heard because she's on a lot of previous episodes. And I think too, um, a lot of people deal with grief. We don't talk about it. The other part of comedy is tragedy. And we both have experienced a lot of tragedy this year alone. And mine actually started last year, this time, roughly, when I lost my brother. And then, 6 months later or so, we lost Candace. And about a week later, I lost my dad. So it was a lot going on. So there was a lot of tragedy. And there was some other stuff that I'd rather not go into that I experienced personally, but it's a lot of balancing that I'm still learning how to do and deal with grief. I think that's something that we don't talk about often. We talk about mental health, which is really important, but the stages of grief that everybody experiences is always going to be different. And, and I try my best to keep a stiff upper lip, as they say, and lean into the laughter. But sometimes it's okay not to do that too, right? Sometimes you got to be able to go through those facets and phases of grief because it's warranted and it's necessary. And if you can find somebody to talk to, whether it's a professional, preferably, but even if it's a friend, and you don't always have to have the right answers. I think that's what a lot of people shy away from because they don't know what to say. And sometimes you don't have to know what to say. Sometimes holding space and allowing that person that is grieving is just good enough. And we have to remember that. And I'm saying this out loud for myself because I have a tendency to hold on to things, and that's not healthy either. So I'm still learning how to do and navigate life as it continues to change. This year, I had a milestone birthday as well. Candace would have shared that birthday with me this year had she still been here. And I think about that often. So, all these things that we go through and that we experience, it's beautiful to have a little glimmer of happiness that I can call all mine and that makes me happy, and somebody who can just hold space for me when I don't feel like holding space for myself. So, it is a difference. But I'm still going to talk the same trash that I talk about relationships because it's important. And just like I told y'all from the first season, the first episode, ask the questions. I've taken my own advice. Okay. So I've definitely asked all the questions and I'm still asking questions. And the beautiful part is that the person who I'm asking the questions to doesn't have a problem with answering them. So that's a beautiful thing. So as things continue to move on and grow, I'm not saying that every time we get on here, I'm sharing stuff because some of that stuff ain't y'all business, okay? But if you have questions, continue to write in. I will try to give you as much comical, good information, but for entertainment purposes only, okay? I will try to continue to do that as much as I can, but sharing the good and the bad and the ups and the downs is one thing that I think that we have done extremely well on this platform, and I hope that we continue to do it because all we're doing honestly is being our raw authentic self. So y'all keep on riding with us, keep vibing with us. I love to see all the different countries that are lighting up across the board, that are leaning in to laugh, learning to laugh, taking off your mask, dating 101, life 101, karma 101, clubhouse high, all the things that we've done. So go back, listen to all the episodes, bring yourself up to speed because like I said, honey, we in season 7. So that lets you know that this train ain't slowing down no time soon. So anything else wanted that you want to say before
Oh
we
no.
wrap it up before this evening or whatever it is that we doing, child?
Oh no, I don't have anything else to say that I can say on this podcast. So so I'll leave that at that. So,
Oh
I'm gonna pretend I'm doing like I would do you and Candace when I just want to respond to your messages. I would just like
my.
I'm not even responding to this craziness. So, I would do that a lot. I would just read and I wouldn't respond.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. But I was going to say, do we have some letters today, just in
Yeah, we
case?
do. We
Okay.
do. We have a
Okay.
couple letters. We have a letter from hold on a second. We have two letters tonight. We have one letter from
Misty.
Misty, and Misty says she met the love of her life, Jonathan. He
Mm.
wants her to move in with him, but he lives with his mother in a one-bedroom apartment,
Oh,
and he is
Lord.
currently looking for a job.
Oh, okay.
Until he gets a job, she will help pay the bills. She wants to know, is it a good idea to move in with him at this time?
Hell no, she replied. So, Misty. Oh, my God. Okay. Okay, Misty. I get it. Summertime love is in the air, all the things. And I understand that. And Jonathan may be a cool person. And if he's staying with his mother and he ain't working, that mean his mama paying all the bills, so he needs somebody to offset his mama, because she is complaining to him that he ain't helping. Okay, so that's the issue. So you got to ask yourself, is this something that you really want to commit to and indulge yourself in, and really think about that and lean into that and ask yourself questions. Misty, if you have your own place, your own job, your own vehicle, and all the things, that means that you and Jonathan aren't evenly balanced at this particular time. So why don't you just encourage Jonathan to keep doing what he's been doing until he can find a job, and maybe he need to pick up some more chores and help his mama a little bit more around the house to keep her quiet, or whatever the case may be, because Jonathan's mother may be ready for retirement, but she can't, because she know if she stopped, then everything else gonna stop too. So I'm not saying that you and Jonathan need to not be together. I'm just saying you and Jonathan need to maybe think about it. Don't become one of those women that you're just there out of convenience because he needs something, because he can't do it himself. He's hoping that you'll be able to do it for him. And if you already got your own stuff and you already carrying your own stresses, you got to ask yourself, do you really want to take on not just Jonathan and his mama, but still carry your stuff too? And does Jonathan have the expectation that if you live with him, y'all still gonna do it? And if it's a 1 bedroom apartment, you cool with living in the living room? I don't think so. So think about it, baby. Take a deep breath, do some meditation, do some soul searching, ask some more questions of Jonathan. Matter of fact, sit down and talk to Jonathan and his mama. Maybe she'll give you some insight that you ain't even never thought about. So I'm off on to the next one. Who else we got? So Misty, good luck. That's all I got for you.
Okay, we got our second letter. And this letter is from a long-time listener. He's been listening since season 1.
Okay.
His name is Joel. And Joel wants to get married. He wants to get married and not spend a lot of money. So he has a wedding coming up. But his fiancee Susan thinks the wedding should be lavish and it'll cost about $50,000. They both are unemployed at the moment and looking for a new job. They have $50,000 in their joint savings account. He wants some advice on, should they spend the money on the wedding or should they have a smaller wedding and save the money?
Save the money. Okay, let me just say this. So the wedding is for the people who you are inviting. The wedding ain't for y'all. It's really for the people. People want to come so they can see and look and say they was a part of this lavish grand spectacle, if you were. What we really have to start concentrating on more than anything else is the marriage. The marriage is not the wedding. These are two different things. And if you really ask anybody's advice that's worth any salt that's been married for a long time, the consensus might say that a lot of people who have been married for a long, long time didn't spend a whole bunch of money on a wedding per se. They may have done something simple, quaint, but still beautiful. You can be lavish on a budget, but if you're not working and y'all don't know when a new job is going to be forthcoming, you might want to sit on that money for a while. You can do a little with a lot and maybe do something later on, but save that money because it sounds like that you might need it. Because two getting ready to become one, and $50,000 don't run and stretches like it used to. With gas being what it is, food prices being what they are, I think you need to probably think about it. And until you all find a job, you may want to not just jump the broom just yet. That's just my 2 cents. But y'all pray about it, think about it, meditate on it, and whatever y'all decide, you just have to remember you got to be okay with whatever happens.
I mean, they can be happy unemployed together. I mean,
Yeah, but unemployed together means they eventually gonna be in the dark. It ain't gonna be no food. You ain't got no gas, and you ain't got no prospect for no job. I don't know how much happy. That ain't no way that I would want to start no
but they
marriage
got
off.
$50,000
Yeah,
saved.
but the $50,000 don't last like it used to. It don't stretch like how it used to. With gas almost being $5 a gallon and everything in the store, and you got all this shenanigans is going on because we picking on people that ain't had nothing nothing to do with us in the first place, you got too much. So whatever money you got, you better set on it.
So they could elope, have a small wedding, go
Yeah,
to
they could
justice
do
of the
that
peace.
and save that money. That's what
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
But
save
save the
them.
money because you said that they unemployed. So Jonathan, or Joe, you've been listening to this joint for a long time. So you know how I feel about relationships and just jumping into stuff, and especially when things ain't adding up. 1 plus 1 is not equaling 2, Joe. So I need y'all to really think about it. So you and Susan need to do some soul searching because they said together they have. So we don't know if that's 25 and 25, or he got 10 and she got 40, or he got 40, she got 10, or she got 5 and he got 45. We don't know how that split working right now. But all we know is that once they do whatever it is gonna do, that's gonna start minusing. So 50 might go to 40 because they're going to do 10, and then 40 might go to 30 because they still got to have a place to stay. You got to pay utilities, cell phone bills. You got to have the basics, and all of that stuff add up. And before you know it, that 50 become 0.00, and with no prospects of working, oh no, no, no. We gonna save this money. We gonna do something real simple. The justice of the peace still work. You ain't even gotta go nowhere. He put on something nice, you put on something nice. The judge do what he got to do. Y'all sign it, take some pictures, kiss, go have a dinner, and then figure out how you gonna double, triple, and quadruple the money that you got left, huh?
Yeah, that's practical. Yeah,
Yeah, be practical, be
but
smart.
that's boring. That's practical and
It don't,
boring.
it don't, it don't have to be exciting. It just gotta make sense. Because you could do lavish and then be sitting up here eating oodles and noodles, talking about what we gonna do now because there ain't nobody call, and they can't call you if your phone off. And why is your phone off? Because you had this lavish wedding and you ain't pay your phone bill. Come on now, people, we gotta make it make sense. So I'm just saying, make it make some sense.
Okay, so Susan, I guess Joe gonna have to talk to Susan and tell her we can't
Yes,
have the big wedding.
no, not right now. Do something later, but not right now.
Okay, Joel, write that down. Make sure. Let us know what happened.
Yes, please and thank you.
So then we got these letters. We done answered 2 letters. So if anybody else have letters they want to send us, send it to the Sheila New Comedy Show. We get all letters, and we're at gmail.com. So just send us a letter, and we will try to answer your letters. We get a lot of them.
Yes.
We got the letters, and we got there's so much news going on. I can't even keep up with all the news going on.
Yeah.
Entertainment, politics, just a lot going on in the world. It's too much to even list. You got just people just acting a fool
They
all over
are.
all over the world. Then we got sports stuff going on. No, we got to talk about sports because in honor of Candace, that's her thing. But
Yes.
we had and last time we talked about the movie The Polygamist.
Yes, we did.
And have you had any more thoughts on the movie? Is people still talking about it? Because some people still just catching on to it.
Yeah,
And
some people are still catching on, and I'm hearing like more men are starting to watch it now too.
I
So
saw a lot of men that watch it from the beginning, though, when I started watching
yeah.
it. But on a scale of 1 to 10, what did you rank the movie?
Oh, I definitely give it a 10. It was definitely a 10. And I like, so I'll just say this for me. I know that you could listen to it in the language that it's in with some English in between. And then you can definitely do the subtitles with just English. I didn't like that. I listened to like maybe about 15 seconds of it like that. And I went back to the original format because I still found that I was able to follow, the storyline, but it was just beautiful, right? Just to hear their native tongue and the clicks and the things that go on in their dialect. So that made it exciting for me. But the storyline, I think it was well written, it was well filmed. It was beautiful just to see, people in South Africa or just in Africa, period, just take a brazen approach to something that's probably been a part of their culture for a very, very long time anyway. But it's just how they told the story, and it was binge worthy for sure. One night I was mad at myself because I knew it was getting to the end, but it was too late. I pulled one of your numbers, but I had to go to bed because my eyes started burning. So it was time for me to go night night. But I'm excited for whatever what's going to come next, because I just feel like it's got to be a next. Like they need to continue on, but I think it did. The Polygamist was definitely something to watch and lean into. So I definitely say 10 out of 10. What you say?
I've watched it like 3 times, and I did
Well,
try to
I'm gonna
watch.
say I'm gonna say you like it then a lot.
Yeah, I watched it 3 times, and I catch things I might not have caught the first time I watched it when I watched it again.
Mm-hmm,
But I
mm-hmm.
watched it 3 times, and I watched it again. I watched it part way in their native language, but not the whole thing. But I've seen it about 3 times, and I give it about I give it a 10, and I still try to figure out who my favorite character is, and then what my favorite episode was. And so I think for a long time I didn't understand why she was so mad at Essie, because Essie was like the villain in the story. Even Essie wasn't a bad person, but she was the villain. But I do get why she was mad, because Essie lied the whole 20 years almost. She
Yeah,
she
but
she
I think that's what that just shows how manipulation happens. You know what I'm saying? You started doing something and you spun the story for so long that you just got caught up in it, and you just never, spoke the truth for whatever reason. But it was a lot. But wow, 3 times, that definitely says you're a fangirl. For sure. I did it once. I haven't went back, but I think this weekend might be one of those weekends that may happen because the weather's supposed to be a little dreary out, because we're calling for rain for the majority part of the weekend going into next week. So who knows? I might take some time out to do that.
Yeah, and I would love a part. I would love a season two. That
Yeah,
would be
I would
exciting.
too,
That would
for
be
sure.
exciting. And if he not really dead, I'm gonna be mad.
Oh, you know what? Oh
I
my God. Yeah, that would be a
would,
thing.
I
But
would
even
love.
if he is, but because of how it ended with his son,
Yeah, yeah.
being with the girl, I think there is enough material there for
Oh yeah.
definitely a season 2 for sure.
But you know what I didn't understand, and I was
What's
kind
that?
of so, like he had never been abusive. He had never been violent
But
until that
I
one.
think it absolutely had, like, something had to shift and change. But think about it, he became ill.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was wondering, because then maybe he also felt he was losing total control. He was losing all
He
control.
definitely was, because people started waking up and demanding things that he was okay as long as he could be in control of a situation. But you think about it, when people have like life altering diseases and eventually it will take them up out of here, their whole everything changes, right? The mindset, how they think, how they view, because now you're really faced with your
But he didn't know he was sick
mortality.
at the time. He didn't
No,
know
he
he.
didn't, but we did as we saw him to decline, right? And then the young girl really showed him how sick he was, because she wasn't taking care of him like he felt like he ought to been. Like, she left him in the bed sick, pissy, defecating on himself, all the things. She wasn't feeding him, she wasn't taking care of him. And matter of fact, she was just running that money. And and still doing whatever she wanted to do in the room right next to him. Like, she didn't care anymore.
Yeah, yeah. This is definitely a good movie and definitely a must watch.
It's definitely for real, for real. For sure.
And then we have other things going on in the news. I don't know if you've seen I heard about Howard University and what happened to students that
I
got
did.
unenrolled. I mean, back in the day when I went to school, you could do a promissory note. They settled your funds, after classes started, people
Mm-hmm.
still in school. But now they want their money before school starts.
Fun. Yeah, they're not about
And
to play with it.
and even if you got a scholarship coming in, your scholarship hadn't come in yet, they still want the money. But if I'm getting a scholarship, obviously I don't have the money to pay for school.
Yeah, but I think too, I think so. It's a twofold thing, right? I think that according to the president of Howard University, notifications were sent out. And I think a lot is impressed upon students at such a young age for them to kind of catch all these little nuances, right? That's where the parents come in at. You got to check the emails. You should be getting alerts every time your student gets alert. So then that way somebody is keeping up with the dates of when and deadlines of when things need to be in, right? Because it's still a business. Going to college is still a business. Tuition is how they keep the lights on and the professors coming, and the materials that you need and all the things. So I think we have to share responsibilities. I think the students need to be on point with the deadlines and following up. And this is just one of those life lessons that it's going to continuously happen with everything that you do. College is just your first taste of it. But with everything, if you don't communicate or there's a lack of communication and you don't tell anybody what it is that you need or want or whatever the case may be, then you find yourself in instances just like this. So you have to be mindful of it. But, he felt, away, but at the same time, he said what he said. It's not personal, it's definitely business. So that's where it ended. And unfortunately, those freshman class that were entering or supposed to enter, in 2026, 2027 school year, they may have to wait until the winter, semester starts. And hopefully, the paperwork that they need and the deadlines that they need to make are met. So then that way they can do what they need to on their end. But it's sad
Yeah.
because I know they were excited, but yeah.
But I think also they also had a higher amount of freshmen that they admitted than they have space for this year as well. And so that was
Yeah.
another reason there was a push to 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 de-enroll students who had not met deadlines or paid their funds. They've had families who said they bought plane tickets to come from Hawaii and they had a record of all the calls they made and it wasn't working out for them. So I just think it's a sad situation. And
It
I'm
is.
tired of Howard being in the news because every year they're in the news
Yeah, they
and
are. And it's
around
not
and
always good either.
no. And every
Yeah.
December, last December, kids were on begging for money because they couldn't pay tuition because they had gotten a bill that they didn't expect. So it
Yeah.
always seemed like they need to work on their administrative affairs. I think so. I
And
think
then they need to upgrade them dorms too.
I think it's a twofold thing. I think it's a twofold thing. Some is on the administrative side of the school
Because
and
where's
on
the money
families.
going? I know you got to pay like the professors and the upkeep of the grounds and stuff like that. But if kids are in these dorms or young people, let me not call you all children, okay? The young adults that are attending any HBCU or any PWI or whatever the case may be, right? Wherever you decide to take your education to the next level, and you check in and your heat isn't working or the water is nasty or you have vermin and roaches and because the building is aged and no and all you doing is slapping paint over asbestos and mold and all this other crazy stuff. What is y'all doing with that tuition? That's what I would be asking. Quit going through the nice nights of tours because they're gonna show you the pretty. The kids, your children aren't going to find out the ugly until they're after you've already taken them to college and you've dropped them off and you've gone about your business. So, what is y'all doing with the tuition? Because it got to be a lot of money coming in because all these students coming in, y'all not fixing up nothing. Y'all not upgrading no dorms. Y'all can't make them like, suites and y'all can't, upgrade, the heating systems, the cooling systems. You can't chip away the asbestos and the mold so they can have a healthier environment. Y'all can't have exterminators come in and fumigate so they don't have to worry about stuff crawling on them or in the food or whatever the case may be. I mean, what is y'all doing with the money? As a parent, of a college student and previous college students, I would be asking these questions, especially if my children kept calling me and saying that the conditions of the dorms are deplorable. I mean, I'm asking questions. So what y'all doing with the money? I just want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Please enlighten us. And this goes for all schools, not just Howard, but any, university or college level or private. What are y'all doing? So that the young people that attend your fine institution make sure that they're comfortable. I'm not saying they got to be plush like the Ritz Carlton, but it ain't got to be Motel 6 and they got to sleep with the light on just to keep the roaches away. I'm just saying, let's make it make sense. Please and thank you.
Yeah, I think I think college is important. I think it's become more difficult to go to college, and there's this big beautiful bill, and that
Yeah.
has caused some changes, and that has caused schools to have to do something differently regarding financial aid, and that's slowing down the process, not just at Howard, but a lot of schools. And I have friends whose kids are going to college this year, and it's definitely a difference from when I went to college, and definitely a difference in financial aid. And so I just hope everything works out for everybody who want to go to school and want to get an education, because education is for everybody and it's important, and everybody that wants one should be able to get an education.
Yeah, that's true. I believe that is true.
And, beyond Howard and going to school,
Hmm.
we got people who say they went to school and may not have gone to school. We got people who say they may have a PhD and they may not have a PhD, because we still, whether it's an honorary PhD or a regular PhD. Everybody that stopped talking about the great Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, people stopped talking about it.
Well, I think things go in waves,
But
right?
no,
Something happens.
people started talking about her again.
Oh, so did somebody find out? Did they do their research and find out? Did they get the truth? Did they get to the
No.
bottom of it?
We got the Netflix series. People been doing the Netflix documentary that's been going around.
Yeah,
So, and people go, "This is my story. Netflix gonna do a story about me one day." Guess who did one? Guess who did one? She did.
she did one.
And people were like, "Okay, we had stopped talking about you," but she did one, putting on her cap and gown and robe, and had the plaques in the background, but nothing said PhD. Nothing validated that she got one. So people were like, "Okay, we had stopped talking about it. Why you had to go and do the Netflix
Because you
film?"
know what?
And
It's
then it made people
clickbait.
mad all over. People got mad all over again.
But
And
it's
then,
clickbait. She likes it. She likes
yes,
it.
yes,
Yes.
yes. And
Yes.
then, uh, I don't know if you saw Pastor Jamal Bryant, what he did.
What do you do?
So he got a letter from somebody. He was on Instagram. He did an Instagram post last Saturday.
Hmm.
Saturday. He got a letter from somebody saying that, "I just want you to let you know that Dr. Bryant now has a PhD from my school, Indiana Southern University, something.
Mm.
Indiana Southern University ain't no real school."
Oh,
But he was just
Jesus.
letting him know that he had given her a PhD. She got a PhD, and she got it based on the work she's done. But
Wow.
he's not even in an accredited school.
Mm, mm, mm.
But the funny part was, he went on to say, he said, "I wasn't going to talk about this," but after he had talked about her the last time, he got a letter. He got a cease and desist letter,
Mm.
which typically comes from a lawyer.
Right.
So he said he got the letter. He read through the letter, looking okay, got to the bottom of the letter, and it's from her, not a lawyer.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
that was a joke. But I think everybody's kind of tired of her. She was actually on the Jennifer Hudson show this past week. I got to go watch her within the last couple weeks, and she was talking about that she does stuff with the NFL, and
Oh,
so
Lord.
hopefully it's true and she's not making it up, because nothing that she has said or she does really people been able to validate. She's owned
So
stores
I
on.
think then sometimes people need to just stop it because people are checking. Like it's somebody always fact checking. Always.
And so the last thing I saw, somebody said on a comment, she said she was engaged twice. And so
Mm.
somebody said, "Can one of the exes come up and give us some information?" We're waiting to hear from one of the exes, but nobody's come forward yet. So that's interesting.
Because maybe she done sent them a cease and desist letter too already.
Maybe she making it up, because
Maybe there's a gag order.
some of this stuff just seem unreal. So some of this stuff seems like she might be a little bit kind of not telling the truth about some of it, but who knows?
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
that's the good old Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. The saga continues around her life, so she might have a Netflix series about her for real, her life. You never
Not
know.
not if they tell her you got to tell the truth and we're not going to allow you to alter it.
It might just be about her. How far you can get not telling the truth. Who knows? And we still at war. I don't know how we done stopped the war. Done ended about 10
Mm,
times or
mm,
more.
mm.
Every day it ends. It's about to end. It's almost over. And then we look. Oh no, we fighting again.
Yeah, I think it's
So
just, I think we need to mind our own business because we got enough stuff going over here versus crowded room and say, pick me. That we want your undivided attention. I don't understand why you think or anybody that's in any political office thinks that it's cool to go over to countries that have nothing to do with you personally and think that you can just govern them accordingly. I don't think that's cool at all. I think you need to stay in your lane. It's enough stuff, and I almost said something else. It's enough stuff over here, okay, that's broken, that requires your undivided attention, like young men being found unalive because the laws and the protocols don't fit them because of the certain hue that they belong to. It's a lot of children over here that aren't eating or getting proper education, or the seniors aren't being taken care of, and there's housing issues and businesses going under because they can't afford it because of tariffs and other things. It's a lot of stuff over here that need your undivided attention. So leave the people over there alone. I think they would be okay with you leaving them alone while you taking care of matters in your own house, and quit worrying about what the Obamas are doing. And because they open up a beautiful, exhibit in Chicago where they're from, because that's what presidents do. Once they retire, they find something that they're passionate about so they can continue to leave their mark. While you worrying about speaking on things that have nothing to do with you, you need to worry about the things and mind the business that's paying you for that position that you have. I think we sometimes forget, that you have duties to these people who elected you, but you're neglecting those duties because you're not doing your job. So until you do that, why don't you leave them people the hell alone? Unless they invited you to the party, which I don't think they did. I think
Yeah,
you need to leave them alone right now. Period.
there's been a lot going on in politics. We had the war, then we had Lindsey Graham. He's from South Carolina, where I'm from, and he died. And then we have Mitch McConnell, who nobody knows where he is.
Hmm.
So we think he's alive. Social media have all kind of theories about what's going on with Mitch McConnell. Now that's a true scandal story. Like, where is Mitch McConnell?
Yeah, and I think
There's
sometimes when the older politicians are older and they get sickly and they just don't want to be bothered and they don't want to be the center of attention, they just go on about their business.
Yeah, I don't know where that is, but
Yeah, but I mean that's the part. That's the beautiful part, right? He don't necessarily have to check in. That's what he's doing.
but I mean, hopefully he's still alive and breathing with us. But nobody knows where Mitch McConnell is, and that's been the $1 million question lately. Where is Mitch McConnell? And if
It's
he's going to
almost
show
like
proof of
where's
life?
Waldo, huh?
Yeah, where's Waldo? People been
Mhm.
scouting out at the hospital to try to see him, and they haven't been able to see him. So, but I think they want to make sure that they keep him around so he can vote the way they want him to vote. So hopefully we'll see what happens in the near future.
Yeah,
And moving on, we got some other stuff to talk about, but before we get to another topic, a serious topic, there's been a change in the sports world. I know Candace was our big sports person,
he
so
was.
I'm not going, and I'm not a sports person, but LeBron James, he's now going to be with the 76ers, right?
You know what? I haven't seen if he has signed on. I know that his time with the Lakers he's been on the fence about it. And LeBron is getting older. We have to remember and understand when he came out of high school and went straight into the NBA at 18, 19 years old. So he grew up literally in the league, right? He became an adult in the league. I mean, he's done a lot of great things. He's, won some championships, two different teams. He's been with the Lakers for a very, very, very long time. The Lakers changed. Sometimes, he's proven that he likes to move around a little bit. So, maybe this is his last hurrah. He want to bring something back to the East. He started in the East. He even helped Cleveland win a championship when he came back. So he's done a lot of crisscrossing, through the league, which is not uncommon. You have some people that play basketball for one team and they're with that one team until they retire. Shout out to Steph Curry, who plays for the Golden State Warriors, and anybody um, who just had one team that they hung in with. Charles Barkley did the Phoenix Suns. He never switched teams. Magic Johnson stayed with the Lakers. Kim Abdul-Jabbar stayed with the Lakers. I mean, it's a lot of, players that stick and stay where they're at. But, if LeBron feels like he still has some gas in the tank and he wants to give it to the 76ers, good on him. But I've seen a lot of different teams that are throwing their hat, in the ring. So who knows?
No,
Even Cleveland is back on.
he's definitely going with the 76ers. He's with them.
Okay. Well, if it's
Yeah.
signed and it's inked in, then hey, he's moving west and he's going back east. Yeah,
Oh,
and it depends on who's on that roster in the 76ers. So it got to be somebody on that team that maybe was an old teammate that he wants to still play with. And then the other question is if he's moving to the 76ers, is Bronny moving too?
I don't know. So, shout out to 76ers. Hopefully they have a good year with LeBron.
Yeah, maybe so. But you in the East, and the East is a competitive conference. So we're in the Eastern Conference. So I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah, that I'm not a big sports fan, but I had to acknowledge the fact that there's been a change in the sports world. Candace would have had all the facts and
Other
everything. She
things,
would have
yes.
known.
We gonna
So,
have to dig a little deeper next time.
yeah, but he definitely moving to the 76ers, and so shout out to him
Absolutely.
for making this career change. It might be his last hoorah before he ends his career, but shout out to him for that. And
Yeah.
then moving on to something we cannot end the night without talking about is Nolan Wells.
Yeah.
Nolan Wells is a young man who he went fishing with his friend. He went to Horn Island, which is not far from me actually. Ocean Springs is about less than an hour from my house. Um,
Wow.
about probably 30 minutes from my house is Ocean Springs. But he went on to Horn Island where people go in, they hang out all day on the water. And he went with his friends, with like I think four or five friends or more. They went to Horn Island together on a boat. They came back, but he wasn't with them. And
Mm-hmm.
so he was found unalive, dead, a couple of days later, and now
Hmm.
nobody knows what happened. So you don't know what happened. So that has been really a riveting story for the last couple of weeks since the 4th of July when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And his parents have been on TV talking about it. They've hired attorney
Benjamin
Benjamin
Crump.
Crump
Mm-hmm.
to help. They've had an autopsy done by the local county, but they haven't released the autopsy report. And they had an independent autopsy done as well, and they presented that information, and they don't have any conclusions about what happened to him, and nobody's really saying what happened. But the story is very mysterious.
It definitely is, and we don't want to speculate when it comes down to it. And we're on the edge of our seats, just like everybody else, because we really want to know what happened, right? And how could something happen like this? And he was not the only person that this happened to. There's been a significant increase of young men leaving this earth, under suspicious or perceived as being suspicious circumstances. But this is what I would like to say because I don't want to harp on that. Is a family in Mississippi that has a hole in it, and they are missing a significant piece in their family. And peace meaning PEACE, not PIECE. And their piece is Nolan Wells. And from listening to his mother and his stepfather, he was an incredible human being, a very considerate young man who would give you the shirt off his back just to see you smile. I think we have to remember that he was here and he was significant to somebody. And we only know him because of the tragedy that had happened. But I want to be like his mom and his stepfather. And I want to choose to remember the good things and hear about the good stories because the truth will come out, whatever that is. But in the meantime, as I talked about earlier, grief is what's happening right now. And think about every time she has to relive or tell this story, it brings up another piece of her that's a reminder that Nolan is no longer going to walk through her door. Nolan is no longer going to say, "Hey, Ma, I love you. I miss you. Hey, Ma, what's for dinner? Hey, Ma, I need some more shoes. Hey, Ma, I need this for football. Hey, Ma, I need this for basketball. Hey, Ma, I need this for baseball. Hey, Ma, I need my clothes washed." She will never hear that again. So we have to remember that when we hear these stories, that there is a family still attached to that person and they are hurting. So we want to send all the love, all the light, all the positive energy that we can muster to give to the Wells family. And I hope and I pray that whatever answers they seek, that we all will be fine with it because they still have a long road to get through in order for them to feel a little bit of peace about what happened. And that's my piece on that.
Absolutely true. Absolutely. I hope one day we find out what happened and that the family has some kind of peace.
As
And
do I. Yes, ma'am.
I think they've been able to handle this with a lot of grace.
Yes,
And this is one of the things that we find sometimes you have to laugh and cry when you think about the story because it's really a sad story. And I think everybody just want to know what happened. It could have been an accident. Who knows? But everybody just want to know what happened.
exactly. We are definitely invested, but I want to make sure that we just don't forget about the people that are attached to individuals that, especially when it's so public, like this one is, and so many others were, that we just have to remember that there are families that are still impacted on a regular basis. And we just have to make sure that we, just give them the space and the respect that they deserve while they learn how to navigate this part of their life because now their life is forever changed.
Absolutely. And I think we've had a great segment talking about politics and
Yes.
entertainment. And we like to end the show with a word from Sheila New.
Well, it is Friday, July 31st, 2026, and it is the last Friday of the month, and the summer is rolling along. And as the season begins to heat up before it kind of evens out, it's a lot of things to consider. We heard a lot about the politics and that the fact that we're still at war and a lot of people are doing things that they ought not be doing out here in these streets, whatever that looks like. We talked about grief and mental health and what that, appears to be to you, to me, or to whomever. We talked about how life is like a live TV show and is the wool being pulled over our eyes or are we living in a beautiful nightmare and hoping to wake up and, things be back to normal? Are we being pranked or whatever the case may be? But one thing is for certain that no matter what we have going on, life has a way of humbling us as quickly as it can to get our attention to be focused. And no matter what happens, good, bad, or indifferent, we have to learn to just lean into it. Take some time for yourself. Sometimes you do have to turn off the TV. Sometimes you do have to take a break from social media. Sometimes you just need a respite. You need to be able to breathe, lean into the things that make sense to you, but more importantly, find something that makes you happy, that makes you smile when, all hell is breaking out. And find something that makes you laugh. Lord knows it's enough comic relief nowadays. And you don't even have to go far to look for it. But whatever it is, do the best that you can for you. But take that time out to make sure that you are laughing to keep from crying. And if you have to cry, it's okay too, because that is a part of life after all. Laughter is good medicine, and nothing has changed that. It is good for the soul, it's good for your mind, and it's definitely good for your body. I love to laugh until my stomach hurts. It lets me know that it was funny and I was tickled beyond belief. So here is my prescription to all of you: laugh and then dance, honey, like nobody's watching. And we'll see you when we see you next time. Peace.